Research is the foundation for scientific knowledge expansion and is at the root of every national development, particularly in health and technology, as established in the developed nations. A nation's ability to conduct quality research is directly linked to the quality of healthcare provided for its people. And so, in the quest to advance public health and improve the lives of Nigerians, the nation's foremost institute of medical research, the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research (NIMR), was established through the National Science and Technology Act of 1977, with a vision to be a reputable point of reference in basic, applied, and operational research for the promotion of national health and development in Nigeria. The Institute collaborates with several national and international institutions to fulfill its set goals and objectives. However, quality research is capital intensive because of the personnel and equipment required in the process. For an institution which had to compete with several others in the country's budgetary circles, ensuring the sustenance of its mandate would require thinking out of the box. This and the understanding that investment in health research has payback in health outcomes must have propelled the management of NIMR in February 2020 to establish the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research NIMR Foundation and to reach out to several eminent Nigerians from diverse walks of life to pick up in advancing the course of medical research. Under the chairmanship of the immediate past Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SCN, the private not-for-profit organization has the mandate to build and expand capacity for translational research among early career investigators and promote innovation, development, and commercialization of homegrown medicines, vaccines, and technologies to address the health problems of Nigeria in particular and Africa at large. These should be done utilizing resources mobilized mostly from the private sector rather than depending on funding from government. With a clear understanding of its mandate, Mr. Fashola and other members of the NIMR Foundation Board of Trustees literally hit the ground running with visits to several private and public sector individuals on what has famously come to be known as the medical research evangelism. In January 2024, when the United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken visited Nigeria, he not only made it a point of duty to visit NIMR in recognition of its contributions to public health, he also commended the Institute for its innovative and proactive research works.
Our partnership is also strengthening Nigerian institutions to innovate and lead the region's public health response. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, we'll be in Lagos. I'll get a chance to visit the Institute of Medical Research here in Nigeria to learn more about the achievements that the government has made to respond to HIV, to respond to COVID-19, to respond to tuberculosis, to respond to other infectious diseases. With assistance that was provided through the PEPFAR platform, our U.S. Agency for International Development as well, and the Centers for Disease Control, and the U.S. National Institutes for Health, the NIMR has developed world-class laboratories that are making significant differences in Nigeria's work to detect and to combat disease.
The advocacy visits culminated into the well-attended unveiling of the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research NIMA Foundation and the launching of its 10 billion endowments on Thursday, 4th November 2021 at the Core Hotels and Suites in Lagos. Indeed, the NIMA Foundation Board Chairman and members are convinced that for Nigeria to attain its primary responsibility to ensure the long-term welfare, well-being and prosperity of its citizens, it must become a leader in research and innovation. Medical innovations have resulted in higher life expectancy for citizens and generated enormous economic value for developed nations. In order to raise public awareness on the activities of NIMA and stimulate the donation of sorely needed financial support for medical research work, the chairman led other members of NIMA Foundation Board of Trustees on a working visit to the Institute. The Director General of the Institute, Professor Babatunde Salako, led other management team members to receive the august visitors and diligently rendered an account of the NIMA activities before undertaking an extensive tour of the research complex with them. He said the Institute has been able to make significant health contributions to the nation through some of his groundbreaking research works, by calling for the establishment of a National Research Council. He argued that the council will help address the issue of funding.
The reason why we have come begging that you all be part of the NIMA Research Foundation is because we discovered, very long time ago though, that health research is not being well funded in Nigeria. But it's not just Nigeria, generally in Africa. And the slides that I've shown, the two of them, one is showing the percentage of health research funding in total health budget. And the other one is showing the percentage of health budget, health research budget per GDP. And taking 4 African countries, I believe Uganda, South Africa, Nigeria, and Kenya. Kenya and South Africa are the only one you can see the bar. Nigeria and Uganda, you can see them with an eye of faith, really. It shows that we are not getting enough funding for research as it is. Now, to come to NIMA itself, the blue color shows the proposed budget, and is that red or brown? I'll call it red. Is released, amount released, and then the green one is the percentage of health research funding that NIMA has got. You can see that's practically flat throughout, because we are looking at the budget we got generally, including personnel, including capital, including other things, intervention put together. And when we took out research in it, you can see it's almost flat. We are able to predict the second and the third waves. It's just to show the usefulness of research. Because we follow the report, we follow the testing. The testing is the blue one, and the result is the red one. And you can see the 3 waves that we had in Nigeria. It was typical from that field. And we were able to say, okay, we think in the next 1 week, we're going to have another wave, so that people can prepare, NCDC can prepare. So we are providing that kind of information. And the other bar chart up there is, it's about the zero-epic study, the burden of COVID that we did during the time when NCDC was still announcing less than 100,000 cases. But we were able to show them that indeed people, up to 20-something% of people in Lagos and Enugu states have actually come in contact with the virus.
The Board of Trustees of the Foundation, led by the immediate past Minister of Works and Housing, has been at the forefront of medical research funding evangelism since its inauguration. The main responsibility of the board is to raise funds for the institute to pursue medical innovations, and it has raised over 300 million naira successfully, lobbied for the increment of federal government budgetary allocation to the institute from 100 million to 1 billion naira. The other NIMA Foundation board members spoke from their diverse perspectives during the visit.
Procurement of constant funding for the basic activities of the institute is so important, and that is why I personally have been very much privileged to be part of this foundation and to have as a chair a very dynamic and energetic person who, as we know, has shown that dynamism and energy in every other aspect of public life that he has held. So I think we can look forward to continued growth in this place if we're able to build on some of the major strides that have been made in the last few years. So as we go around today, I will expect other members who haven't seen what we have seen to be able to get a better appreciation of what is possible and what in fact is being done at the moment. So that will be my brief comment, being more or less an insider. As I said, I was there just 2 months ago. Thank you very much.
Gigi was speaking, and what came to mind is the strength of purpose that have been exposed here. He keeps going back to Prof, and that shows continuity. And I think a lot of times that's what we lack in development in Nigeria. So I want to commend the Institute for the continuity that has continued, if I can say that, and which has given you the status for which you have become the hub for the peculiarities of diseases that we as Blacks and of course as Africans have to deal with. Then I'm also very excited about inclusion, because that's the way to go. We cannot leave 50% of the society behind and think we can move as fast as we want. So I look around me with pride, all these women, all these scientists. And
it's a good thing that NIMA, was able to set up a lot of trustees, NIMA Foundation, to help improve research on the NIMA. And on the other hand, I also want to thank the DG for its able leadership and the members of staff of NIMA for their able followership. I've been, very much, in tune with what is going on in NIMA. And I know that quite a number of staff in NIMA have been able to attract grants to improve the research in NIMA. But quite often these research grants are tied on to specific projects. We need to have funding to be able to do broad research that will really, targeted towards issues of public health importance in Nigeria. And I think that is what the Board of Trustees is trying to do, to improve the research for NIMA. And I would say that the training that's going on for researchers, non-researchers, truly funding from the foundation is quite laudable, because it's training that provides capacity and build the capacity of future scientists in Nigeria across various institutions. So like Professor Abuja mentioned, when we have another epidemic, to be able to have adequate capacity across, to handle advance the epidemic. So I want to thank the Board of Trustees, and I want to thank the leadership of NIMA all they are doing. We always get support, and then I hope that this spirit that is on right now continue, especially with staff of NIMA driving the funds and the DG giving the support, giving leadership. Let me thank the chairman, board of trustees, members of the board have mentioned a few things about it.
The chairman of NIMA Foundation Board, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, SCN, will not take his eyes off the goal of raising awareness on the need for public support for the institute.
I'm talking about evangelism for research, pointing people where to spend money for human good. Foundations who are already doing some important things in our ecosystem can be pointed and urged to look more seriously at how much they're investing in research instead of how much they're investing in just buying things. All we are doing here, Auntie Mrs. Makonjola, Professor Guleje, the DG, Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, the 14th Emir, Professor Edigbe, our job is just to raise funds. So I'm not claiming to be a scientist. So, but we're trying, I think we've raised about 300 million, over 300, but we need more. And this is one place where anybody who is that inclined can come, ask for the DG or any of the staff, and there's a process where you can fund this.
The goal of raising awareness on the need for public support for the institute. Beyond supporting increased federal funding for biomedical research in order to provide the resources needed to enable Nigerian scientists address the burgeoning scientific opportunities, the board is leading advocacy campaigns for the buy-in of philanthropy in the financing of medical research.
I am confident more than ever before that the work that our foundation has done, raising some money to support this government-owned institution, will not be put to waste. I see the people who are going to use it, but the evangelism is that government also must come and take ownership of this big asset for job creation, for economic opportunities, to earn foreign exchange for the country. And as I said earlier, also help us tell people who are looking for where to put money, people who want to give back to society, come and put it in medical research. People who want to help, organizations who want to do corporate social responsibility should come and put it in research. And of course, to you, the managers of social media and contemporary media, give this institute some space, give it some publicity, give it advocacy, give it a public presence, because it can help Nigeria's economy, it can help young people, it can help our continent.
Medical research charities are vital parts of many developed countries' research ecosystem, particularly the United Kingdom. According to the Association of Medical Research Charities, at least 8 million people donated to medical research charities in 2017. 1.3 billion pounds of research funding in the UK was invested by medical research charities in 2018, and over 17,000 researchers' salaries were funded by medical research charities in 2017. For a developing country like Nigeria, with insufficient government revenue to run the economy, the importance of philanthropy and corporate society responsibility in medical research funding can't be overemphasized. Aside the resultant positive health outcomes that come along medical invention, research funding has significant impacts on local economies by supporting the development of new and existing jobs and generates enormous economic value for a country.
We're sitting on a gold mine in this country. For those who have seen gold, when you mine it, it's very dirty. So you need to refine gold. And that is where the money and the investments come from. The gold mine is already here. But we need to now fund this mine to refine gold and to bring value. What are the values that they can bring? This is a big employer of labor all over the world. Research. So as we are dealing with economic issues and all of the issues that are challenging us, we have students, children coming out of school. Investments with research will help the economy. It creates jobs. It creates a value chain of support, supply, inputs, and so many more. But more importantly, investment in research is also very reliable in terms of return on investment. Just coming here this morning, I was reading a report on research that shows that every $1 spent on immunization yields a return of over $40. Just immunization alone. And immunization continuously is a product of research. So we're sitting on a gold mine. This is another sector of our economy that should be opened up. And it requires all of us to come together, not just complain about government. All of us must come together.
For us as researchers, we need to reach out to many of these private facilities and foundations. Not necessarily to go and beg cap in hand, but to show them the connection between research and business. The fact that from research there can be significant return on investment, because that's what they are out for. And once we are able to push that and convince them that putting money in research will bring back money for them, then they are likely going to be supporting research. We do not have that kind of thinking around here. And I believe the other thing is that things that are produced within the country don't get patronized by Nigerians, because we do have this preference for what is produced abroad. And so when a manufacturing company or drug company sees that, he's not interested in putting his money on a locally developed molecule, because they know that there is no policy that supports the buying or the use of the new molecule. So they cannot make their money back if they put money into it. So this is where government comes in. Government needs to have policies to support the use of molecules, drugs, vaccines, etc. that are developed in Nigeria. And when you provide that opportunity, then those who want to make money, want to do business, see that, yeah, our return on investment can come, and so they can put money into it. That's not to say that they should just legislate or support the use of any new agent after it's been taken through the normal process, and the regulatory agency that we have has supported it. Although I would say with some kind of help too, because if we don't use what we produce, we will continue to look for dollars to import, and this is not sufficient for us. So it's between three people or group of people. It's between government, the researchers, the manufacturers. And I believe if they can all come to the table and understand this need, then we are going to get out of the woods.
For the hardworking chairman of the NIMA Foundation Board of Trustees and members, no effort will be spared in the evangelism to raise the levels of both public and private investment in medical research and development, as well as strengthening the role of philanthropy in the financing of research.